Hello and welcome to the Game Replays Beginner's Guide video tutorial for Master Yi. My name is Solaris and I'm just going to talk through a game I played with Master Yi earlier. And first things first, with the loading screen here you can see the enemy team on top, the blue team, and you can see the hero, the player, the character portrait, and the ping and the two summoner abilities of each player, and then the loading bar finally at the bottom. So I won't go into the variety of some of the abilities on the other team this time because there's quite a few, but I will go into what I've got. I've got Exhaust to slow people and blind them and make them more susceptible to physical and magical damage, and I've got Ghost, which increases my movement speed for 12 seconds by 35%, so it's good for escaping. Here I am at the start. I'm buying some boots of speed from the shop and 3 health potions. You select a shop by clicking on it. I'll just mention that quickly now. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking at where I'm going to go in the top lane, into that bush. You can see at the top there. I've clicked myself to go there, and you can see on the mini map in the bottom right that my character Master Yi is moving there, and it shows you the pathing line, which is that white line, which is the route you're going to take to that point, which is always worth looking at in case you're going to take a bad route around a turret or by enemy heroes that you don't want to go by. But here I am. I've arrived there, and I'm going to dance around here, possibly go into the other bush. Yes, I do, because I've got bits of speed and I'm a fast character. I know I can make it there before most people, and I always like to try and go into the other bush to see if I can force them out, but I wouldn't recommend you do this. Just stay in the top bush, don't go into the enemy side bush. And here's my teammate Bram, who's turned up nice and early, which is always good. And he's Scion, which we can't see him very well right now, he's in the grass, but he's a big sort of AP ability power tank character who's quite useful throughout the game. And the other thing to point out right about now is that you can see on the rest of the map that we've got the other heroes for our team in the relevant places. We've got Anivia, the Phoenix in the middle lane, and down the bottom we've got Severe and Chendomir. So I can see my team's in the right place, and round about now on the minimap you'll be noticing that there's a green line of dots heading towards us. That's the minions that we just saw the notice saying the minions had spawned, and they're heading towards us now. And no sign of the enemy team as of yet, up in our lane anyway. So I'm hiding in the bush because hiding in the bush here you can see our characters are transparent, and in the bush you're basically in a form of stealth. So those two don't know we're in there until we come out, like I just did now. So all I'm trying to do is get last hits on minions and score to get experience and also to score some gold. So next time it happens again I'm going to point that out. Right, here's what I'm going to go for. That 22 gold is awarded to me because I did the last hit on that minion, and there's another 16. So you only get gold for getting the last hits on minions. So that's one thing to remember. That's a very important aspect of the early game, to scoring gold, and for getting items, etc. You'll need to be getting the last hits on minions, regardless of how much damage you do to them. The other thing is, the other numbers you want to pay attention to are the purple number above my head, which shows you the experience that you get for killing minions. Not just for killing minions, but also being present for when minions are killed by other things like champions or our own minions, for instance. So whether you kill the minions or not is irrelevant. You will get the experience as long as you're nearby. So just a minute ago you might have seen me go up to level 2, and I took Alpha Strike, which if we start to look at the bottom of the heads up display now, you can see the powers and hotkeys, which is Q through R, and D and F for the summoner powers, and B is teleport back to base, which takes time. It takes 8 seconds, but I will take you straight back to the summoning pool, and it's used a lot. I use it a lot anyway, but there's no way that I would be or most people would be running back to base the slow way. So this is Alpha Strike that I'm using here, which is it's a ranged ability which will target one minion and leap towards it, and then you'll bounce off that minion to hit 4 other targets, possibly the same target twice, doing whatever level of damage the ability is at. So right now I think it's 100 damage it does, plus your ability power if you have any. And the first ability I took, I might not have mentioned, was Wuju Style, which is the sword, which is the E, which we can see in the third from the left on the HUD. That's a attack damage enhancing ability, which is passive and active. So when I have a yellow sword, like I do now, it's in its passive form. When I activate it, my sword goes blue, and it gives me double the ability's bonus. So I've just been exhausted there. That's what that orange cage was, which means I'm blinded and slowed, and we'll see that a lot because I'm going to use it, and I'm assuming they're going to use it on me again. So you know what exhaust looks like now. And what I'm doing here is I'm meditating, which is one of the other powers. It's the R power. You can just about see me, and that's green glow is when you meditate, and it's regenerating health. So that's what happens here. I've just gone and taken another level of Wuju Style, just to help me with my damage, which is already considerably higher than anyone else on the in the game at the moment. Massey's capable of getting early damage quite quickly because of Wuju Style, which is a very good power. So all I'm doing is just focusing on last hits and just going in and out to time my attack. So you won't always want to stand and attack a minion from full health, but you might want to move around and time your attack so that you can hit the last bit of it. Here we are, we're giving this guy a going over. I think I'm going to alpha strike him here, and I've got my blue sword there for the extra damage. So that was an alpha strike to make sure I could lock to him, because the alpha strike will always take you to the target that you select. So be careful with that. You might not always want to be dragged into the tower, but I did it to make sure I could kill him. And I've gone back to the summoning pool by using B, and I'm regenerating health and mana there, you can see down the bottom. And right now I'm going to get a vampiric scepter, which will give me something called lifesteal. That is, it will heal me for each hit I do, a percentage of the damage I do. And I'm just looking around the map to see what's going on, and just having a look what's in the middle there. So I'm on my way back to the lane now, because it's still early game, and that was quite a lucky gank. We'll call it a gank, which is the surprise surprise killing of an enemy champion by a group. So we were more than him, we'll call it a gank. But yeah, he shouldn't really have been so far extended in front of his minion wave. Even though he was so close to the tower, you can see the damage that Massey can do in such a short time is quite horrendous. So here we are. I've decided to take another level of Alpha Strike, and we're just taking the minions, taking the experience, and taking the last hits. And me and my lane buddy have a sort of understanding. I seem to attack a different minion to him so that I can get a last hit and he can get a separate last hit on a different minion. Although every now and then that kind of collapses. But that's something you should try to achieve with your laning partner, is that you should attack separate minions so that you can both get gold from separate last hits, rather than one of you trying to steal everything, because that'll leave one of you with a lot more last hits and a lot more gold in a much better position, and then the other person in a much weaker position, which really will detrimentally affect their late game. So I haven't really talked about the enemy champions too much, but we've got a Scion on the opposite side there. You can just see him at the bottom. And the other player who is up in our lane is Yana, which is that girl that not wearing very much, floating around. And she's a mage who's capable of casting range disruption spells, protective spell, and a heal ability when she gets to level 6.